Okay? Page 28, Genesis 32, and let's go to verse 30. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. You don't have to be a nuclear scientist to know what that means. The single eye, the activation of the single eye, the activation of the pineal gland brings you to a point where you see what is God, that which is the creative force within you, face to face. God is the creator, and the creator inside of you is the right hemisphere of the brain. That's the creative side. And I mean, you don't have to be religious or spiritual or Christian or whatever, Buddhist, to understand that. You can go to any doctor or any psychologist or psychiatrist, and they'll tell you the creative side is the right hemisphere. That's where God creates. And that's where you will then begin to think with the mind of Christ and create solutions to your problems instead of knee-jerk and reaction and getting yourself in all kinds of trouble. That's why meditation is so tremendously important. Go back to 1 Corinthians 13 where you are on page 939, okay? But then face to face. Now I know in part. That's the human aspect. That's the 10%. Here you are, okay? There you are. And here is the part that you use to think with. 10%. Here's the part that you don't touch. 90%. You don't touch it. See, that's what he said. Now I know it. How can you know everything that you should know when you're only using 10% of your brain? Go out in your car, and if you got an 8-cylinder car, disconnect 6 of the cylinders and see what happens. You know, the spark plugs. Take it off and see. That's exactly what we've done. We've disconnected 8 of the 10 spark plugs that are in our cylinder for life, and we're trying to think and say, oh, I can figure this out. Sure, you think you can, but remember, you're only using 10%. So this is the reason for all of our problems, because we see defectively. And as Apostle Paul says, but now I know in part, but then I shall know even as also I am known. Okay? In other words, you know God in the same way that you know yourself. How? Through consciousness. Through the inner realms of consciousness. And now these things you can do. This does not cost you any money to do this. It does not require you to join any church to do it. It does not require you to go anywhere special to do it. It requires you to pay attention to what has been taught by the ancients through Krishna, Buddha, Jesus. It requires you to wake up and simply say to yourself, hey, wait a minute. I have seen a demonstration of religion for 2,000 years. They